Guys, this your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Shedeur has broken the internet for real today. See, they tried to stop this young man's bag, but he still damn near made $20 million last season. This might be the first time y'all hearing this story, so be sure to like and subscribe to the tribe, man. So we all know Shedeur Sanders slipped in the draft last year, and he basically received a little contract. I think it's just a little bit over $1 million.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear completely changes the narrative around Shedeur Sanders. For months, we've heard the same story repeated over and over again. The media focused on one thing and one thing only: Shedeur Sanders falling in the NFL draft. Every sports show, every analyst, every critic seemed obsessed with talking about how far he slipped. They called it a disaster. They called it embarrassing. Some even claimed it exposed flaws in his game. But today, a brand new report has surfaced that flips that entire conversation upside down. Because while everyone was busy counting draft positions, Shedeur Sanders was counting millions. And not just a few $1 million.
A season or something like that. Well, Shedeur earned $17 million purely because of the fans and the NFL licensing deal. Now, this article has just came out this morning. And just like I said, it's probably the first time you guys are going to hear about this. So be sure to make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel, man, and like the videos. But this is a big story. It says breaking: Shedeur Sanders earned a record $17.7 million in the group licensing income last season.
We're talking about a number so massive that it shattered NFL records and left some of the biggest names in football history behind. According to reports from the NFL Players Association annual report reviewed by Front Office Sports, Shedeur Sanders earned an unbelievable $17.7 million in licensing and royalty income during the last season. Let that sink in for a second. $17.7 million. Not from his rookie contract, not from playing games, not from throwing touchdowns on Sundays. This money came primarily from the power of his brand. And that's where this story becomes incredible. For years, NFL fans have been told that draft position determines value. The higher you're drafted, the more valuable you are. The lower you go, the less important you become. But Shedeur Sanders just proved that theory isn't always true. Despite falling all the way to the 5th round, his popularity exploded. In fact, his earnings absolutely demolished previous records. The report shows that the previous benchmark wasn't even close. Last year's leader, J.J. McCarthy, reportedly earned around $4 million. Before that, one of the most iconic quarterbacks in NFL history, Tom Brady, held a record near $9.9 million.
Group licensing income last season, according to the NFLPA's annual report examined by Front Office Sports. By comparison, J.J. McCarthy led all players with $4 million in prior years. Yeah, $4 million. Shedeur made $20 million. So it says Shedeur Sanders shattered record of $9.9 million set by Tom Brady.
Shedeur didn't just break those records. He obliterated them. His reported $17.7 million nearly doubled Brady's previous mark. Think about how crazy that is. A rookie quarterback who hadn't even started an NFL game generated more licensing revenue than some of the biggest legends the sport has ever seen. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because people care. Love him or hate him, people pay attention when Shedeur Sanders is involved. Every social media post, every interview, every debate, every jersey sale, every trading card purchase, every piece of merchandise. It all adds up. And according to these reports, it added up in a historic way. Now here's the part that's really interesting.
See, with NFL contracts, you got to wait like a year or two. With this, Shedeur got all his money in the calendar year 2025, and a little bit, I think the other $2 million went over to 26. Not to mention his Nike deal and his Gatorade deal. Now, rumors and word on the street.
The NFLPA documents reportedly show that Shedeur's company, SS2 Legendary LLC, received more than $17 million in payments between May 2025 and February 2026. 13 separate royalty payments. 13. The largest payment? An eye-popping $9 million. One payment, $9 million. And that's where things get fascinating. Industry sources reportedly believe that huge payment may have been connected to trading card guarantees negotiated before the NFL draft. Why is that important? Because if major trading card companies were willing to invest that kind of money into Shedeur Sanders before draft day, it suggests they expected him to be one of the biggest stars entering the league. Companies don't hand out millions of dollars based on hope alone. They study markets. They analyze fan engagement. They project future demand. They calculate risk. And apparently, they believe Shedeur Sanders was worth a massive investment. That's a huge detail that many people are overlooking. Because for months we've heard claims that everybody knew he would slide. Everybody saw it coming. Everybody expected it.
Is that Shedeur got $20 million before the start of the season. Now, I'm going to say allegedly. That was allegedly a Nike deal. Nike or Gatorade deal, somewhere up in there. So you mean to tell me Shedeur Sanders made $40 million last year? $40 million. He damn sure made over 20 in one calendar year, bro. We got to realize this. NFL contracts are through the duration of years.
But if that were true, why were companies making massive financial commitments based on first-round expectations? It raises some very interesting questions. Clearly, there were people inside the business world who viewed Shedeur Sanders very differently from some of the draft analysts on television. And the results speak for themselves. Even after the draft slide, fans continued supporting him. Actually, support may have grown even stronger. People rallied around him. His fan base became even more passionate. Every criticism generated more discussion. Every debate generated more attention. Every headline generated more clicks. And in today's sports world, attention equals value. That's exactly what happened here. The more people talked about Shedeur Sanders, the bigger his brand became. Now, let's compare these numbers to his rookie contract. His 4-year NFL rookie deal is reportedly worth around $4.6 million.
It could be a 4-year deal, 5-year deal, 3-year deal, 2-year deal. Shedeur got all of this within a year. 13 months. So let's just say 13 months. This is major. This is a big deal. This is what Cleveland media is probably not going to talk about, because y'all want to know how Shedeur was able to garner so much money. Y'all the fans, all the fans. And I ain't just talking Cleveland fans.
That's over 4 years. For years. Yet according to this report, Shedeur generated approximately $17.7 million in royalties and licensing income in a much shorter period. Think about that. He earned several times more from his brand than from his NFL contract. How many rookies can say that? Very few. That's why this story is so significant. It's not just about money. It's about influence. It's about marketability. It's about understanding the modern sports landscape. Today's athletes aren't limited to salaries anymore. Their personal brands have become businesses. Social media matters. Fan engagement matters. Marketing matters. Visibility matters. And Shedeur Sanders has mastered those areas better than most young athletes. Of course, licensing revenue isn't the whole picture. There are also endorsement deals. Reports and rumors have linked Shedeur to major partnerships with companies like Nike and Gatorade. While exact numbers vary depending on the source, it's clear those relationships add substantial value to his overall earnings. When you combine endorsements, licensing revenue, trading cards, merchandise sales, and other opportunities, the total financial picture becomes enormous. And that's why some people believe his overall earnings may have climbed far beyond what many fans initially realized. Now here's another reason this story matters. Success often changes narratives. When someone struggles financially after a setback, critics use it as proof they were right. But when someone thrives despite adversity, it forces people to reconsider their assumptions. That's exactly what's happening here. The draft slide became one of the biggest sports stories of the year. But now another story is emerging. A story about resilience. A story about brand power. A story about turning controversy into opportunity. Whether you're a Shedeur Sanders fan or not, that's impressive. Because not everybody can handle that level of scrutiny. And according to these numbers, that attention translated directly into revenue. The fans deserve recognition too, because without fan support, none of this happens. Every jersey purchase, every trading card purchase, every social media interaction, every ticket sold, every piece of merchandise. Fans play a huge role in building an athlete's value. The marketplace ultimately decides what a player's brand is worth. And based on this report, the marketplace spoke loudly. Very loudly. It essentially said that Shedeur Sanders remains one of the most marketable young players in football. That doesn't guarantee future NFL success. Nobody can predict that. He still has to perform on the field. He still has to earn opportunities. He still has to prove himself as a professional quarterback. But financially, the numbers suggest he's already winning. Big time. And that's why this report is making waves across the football world. Because it challenges everything people thought they knew. The player many viewed as the biggest draft day loser may have quietly become one of the biggest financial winners. That's a remarkable twist. So while critics continue focusing on where he was drafted, supporters are pointing to another scoreboard. The business scoreboard. And according to these reports, Shedeur Sanders just put up historic numbers. The question now becomes simple. Can he translate that massive popularity into NFL success? Can he take all the attention, all the expectations, all the momentum, and turn it into victories on the football field? That's the next chapter of this story. And it's a chapter football fans everywhere will be watching closely. But one thing is undeniable. Whether you love him, hate him, support him, or doubt him, Shedeur Sanders remains one of the most influential young athletes in sports today. And if these reported numbers are accurate, he just accomplished something that very few athletes in NFL history have ever achieved. A record-breaking financial year that nobody can ignore. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Shedeur Sanders' massive earnings prove that his draft slide didn't matter? Or do you believe NFL success is still the only thing that counts? Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more NFL news, analysis, and breaking updates.